Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game OrcWorker versus TGW, this game taking place here on Northern Isle. OrcWorker is spawning under the name Charmander as the pink orc on the top or right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, TGW spawning as the green orc on the bottom left. Let's go ahead and get to that 2-minute mark. Let's see what strategies will be unfolding here. It looks like it will be Farseer Headhunters coming out from TGW. Meanwhile, OrcWorker also going for Farseer Headhunters too. Alright. Barracks being placed down, there's that war mill being done. Farseers are already out here on the battlefield. Headhunters already being trained over here by OrcWorker a little bit later by TGW, but nothing to really make that big of a difference about yet. Alright, these feral spirit wolves will be able to take down this Murloc creep camp pretty easily. You can see great micro here, trying to make sure to spread out that damage as much as possible, trying to, well, get to level 2 quickly, or at least clear out this creep camp quickly while racking up a little bit more damage against all of these units. Headhunter is going to come on out here, make his way across, and then do a little bit of throwing right there, taking down those units. Coming back across here, Farseer are going to go ahead and try and engage against these Murloc Huntsmen. There's a little bit of an aggro. Same thing happening off on the other side as we're looking at OrcWorker. Well, I believe with a slight advantage and well, slightly faster creep pattern than his opponent. So far though, both sides staying in their own neck of the woods, building up to this orange creep camp off to the corner as more headhunters are getting summoned up. 3 headhunters already down now for OrcWorker. A little bit of poking back and forth. The Tuskar Trapper should be doing a similar thing as well, as the Ensnare will hold back one of those units. Now, a couple of things to watch is going to be that tech to tier 2 timing. We are already halfway here on pretty much both sides. Actually, the southern side, TGW, a little bit ahead here as we're now getting down another Orc Burrow and that Voodoo Lounge. Both sides will have level 2 Farseers, perhaps even level 3 Farseers when the time comes. And both sides getting up their Voodoo Lounges, perhaps trying to put pressure a little bit later. Alright, Voodoo Lounge gonna pick up a Clarity Potion, most likely, perhaps sell some items as well. Perhaps gonna try and sell that Crystal Ball. No, gonna hold on to it, surprisingly enough. Healing Salve as already, now gonna make its way down to the south here. Alright, so both sides in this mirror match pretty much opening up with the same exact build and same exact creeping patterns. Headhunter, Farseers, both sides have level 3 on that Farseer now, as we're going to be looking at a little bit of an illusion causing some problems here, perhaps disrupting that Clarity Potion for mana. Alright, so a little bit of a disruption there. Farseer now looking to back away. There's that illusion now retreating back here as both armies are going to be getting together soon. 31 supply compared to 29, as both sides, well, just kind of stay close to home, play close to the vest type of thing, and, well, trying to set up themselves for the next stage of this game. What are the next stages of this game? Shadowhunter over a Tauren Chieftain as that second hero. Shadowhunter, great for, well, healing salves and hex, maybe even serpent wards. That kit is going to help. Meanwhile, we're looking at, well, still no sign of a second hero yet from OrcWorker.
Town is under siege.
Alright, Spirit Wolf getting in a little bit of damage here. Meanwhile, a little bit of poking going back and forth. You can see those Spirit Wolves getting re-summoned as the Headhunters are off to the north. And it is going to be a Panda. Alright, so a Panda suddenly getting trained up there. Shadowhunter still coming out. So Panda is going to have, well, a faster move out here on the battlefield, allowing that Panda to creep to level 2. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, a very nasty combination when it can be used in conjunction, especially across an Orc army that, well, only has 375 hit points total. Level 1 Breath of Fire and level 1 Drunken Haze working together can really put in a lot of pressure on all of these headhunters earlier on. Even when they do upgrade to Berserkers later on, as we are going into tier 3, that's still only 100 hit points, as we are there's there. Oh, no, a quick Hex there. It looked like they was trying to go for a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire. There's a Chain Lightning going back around now as the units are going for a little bit of a dance back and forth. All right, down goes one Headhunter, one Spirit Wolf getting taken down here. Both sides trying to focus pressure down. No Drunken Haze, surprisingly. The Drunken Haze was actually a little bit too late. A little bit of that AoE damage over time. Low hit point Headhunter trying to retreat back here. Meanwhile, both sides are just getting in a lot of poking damage across on other units as the Panda unable to really take down these Headhunters just quite yet. Meanwhile, the Farseer and the Shadow Hunter with their range attacks able to continue to put pressure onto these Headhunters here. Where is this Headhunter perhaps trying to go? Absorbing a little bit more damage. That Headhunter going to be hiding off to the side. This Shadow Hunter is still taking a little poke damage from these Headhunters as well. All right, Tech to Tier 3 is nearly done for both sides. We're finally going into a bestiary. Do have a Spirit Lodge for some of those Shaman as well, and we are also getting Adept training over here on the bottom left. This Orc Mirror match is pretty much living up exactly to that, except for differing second heroes so far. Farseer are still getting a little bit of poke. Hero levels are about the same, and we're looking at OrcWorker being forced to try and retreat back. The Spirit Wolves doing a great job just getting in the way of that Farseer, who's having a harder time to try and retreat. Coming back the other way, Headhunters 1-0 upgrade coming across from OrcWorker. Panda, if he gets off a nice Drunken Haze, should be able to rack up a little bit more damage. Meanwhile, the Ice Troll Warlord comes across, and that is gonna, well, expose its back towards this army here. OrcWorker trying to perhaps pick off some easy units. Panda can get a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire across multiple units. There's a little bit of slow damage. There's a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire, Potion of Invulnerability now on that Farseer, as the Farseer are able to turn things back around. Meanwhile, the creeps are actually getting in the way right now. TGW unable to easily engage, and the Ice Troll Warlord is still off to the side here, really not engaging yet. Berserker upgrades now completed for OrcWorker, so OrcWorker has that has the Berserker upgrade faster. That is going to be a big deal as we see level 2 finally now on the Shadow Hunter. Are we going to see an engagement here? There's a little bit of Spirit Link bouncing back around. There's a Purge there, and I'm not quite sure why OrcWorker is not using this opportunity. That 100 hit point upgrade is absolutely huge as the Ice Troll Warlord about to get taken down. Who's going to get the experience? Brewmaster, I believe, got the experience. No, did the shot? No, yeah, Brewmaster got the experience there and picks up the healing wards as well. As the units engage, trying to stand up against each other, you can see the Berserker upgrade now completed by TGW. Are we looking at third heroes? We are. There is that Tauren Chieftain that I was expecting earlier. So it could be that Chain Lightning Shockwave bit of damage to try and reach that back line. Meanwhile, Ogre Magi going to engage off here with a little bit of that Berserker Frenzy, faster attack speed, add in Bloodlust, add in Endurance Aura, and suddenly the slow attack speed of those Berserkers become average to perhaps even fast as well. All right, so from slow to average and then from average to fast, that can build up extremely quickly. Meanwhile, we're still looking at OrcWorker not going for that third hero, but he did get level 2 Breath of Fire on this Brewmaster. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire, however, the Brewmaster is a little bit low on mana, unable to, well, have an endless supply of that Drunken Haze Breath of Fire, transferring, I guess, an item off over here. This Healing Ward given here as the Voodoo Lounge quickly going to get taken down. Meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain is going to go after this Web Spinner Creep Camp here. Farseer now trying to lead the charge back as we're looking at a little bit of damage getting racked up here. Even though it is Berserkers and Shaman as the main army, the army is still large enough to really get in a decent amount of damage across these fortified buildings. All right, Brewmaster, Scroll of Town Portal, going to go ahead and try and do a tactical retreat. A little bit of damage here. Orc Burrows, however, going to be able to stay online. Scroll of Town Portal retreating back. Clarity Potion used by the Brewmaster, not won by the Farseer, surprisingly. Yeah, I would have expected that to be used by the Farseer as well. Actually, I take it back. It is there, just difficult to see under that True Shot aura. So yeah, there is Clarity Potion here as the Farseer gets ready to move once more. All right. if you're looking for ways to constantly improve your gameplay, look at how these players are constantly on the move. They're trying to constantly get into a better position and not waste time. That scroll of town portal allowed them to start creeping difficult creep camps on the other side of the map. This is real claws of attack +8, not a claws of attack +9, as the Farseer and Brewmaster are going to be getting ready and getting in the position to go up against each other here. Tauren Chieftain has opted to go for a stomp over a shockwave, as we're looking at Magnetar Reaver getting in a quick stun on that Farseer as well. All right, Tauren Chieftain going to get the killing blow, get some good experience, nearly level 3, and picks up a Helm of Valor. All right, so top left creep camp goes to the Green Army TGW. Meanwhile, OrcWorker trying to put pressure on the main base again, as we are looking at a second bestiary, perhaps going to get shut down once more. All right, Berserkers already with Frenzy, and they're going to be able to poke down to this bestiary so quickly. Scroll of Town Portal inbound. Where's the army going to land? Right next to it, and the Tauren Chieftain going to throw down his stomp. There's a Drunken Haze. There's a Breath of Fire. That's a lot of damage suddenly showing up as the Healing Wave shows up here. Healing Ward by the Farseer, and going to allow OrcWorker to stay alive a little while longer. Meanwhile, another stomp comes in as the Tauren Chieftain now trying to retreat back. Farseer now gets up to level 4. Panda now going to be in trouble. Does he have another Breath of Fire? Perhaps there's another Breath of Fire, but the Potion of Invulnerability is not going to last forever. Panda needs to back up. Now going to be able to regenerate some hit points from that Healing Ward, which was already poked off by the Berserkers here. 48 supply compared to 41. Who's going to come out on top? Lightning Shield now on the Panda Brewmaster, as the Brewmaster trying to come into position. Peons joining in on the battle. That is going to be some big damage. Bloodlusted Peons stabbing those Berserkers in the back, as the units are now trying to flee and retreat away. Tauren Chieftain going to fight back here by his lonesome self, perhaps allow the other units to get away. Shamans do not have enough for a purge just quite yet. Could be look at a Scroll of Town Portal to try and get away. That seems to be the MO. There's a purge there finally coming in from one of those Shamans. The Tauren Chieftain going to get transferred the Scroll of Town Portal and still running back off to the north. There's another purge there as the tactical retreat completes. Teleporting all the way back home. All right, TGW and OrcWorker both taking quite a bit of damage there. We're looking at a level 4 and a level 3 Farseer and Brewmaster going up against a 4-3-3 from TGW. So another level 3 hero coming in from TGW. That Tauren Chieftain Stomp making such a drastic difference during the opening stages of the game. But the same can be said of that Brewmaster's Breath of Fire and Drunken Haze. Now, it may really come down to who's going to be able to clear out this Magnetar Reaver creep camp in the bottom right. The Magnetar Reaver creep camp represents a very strong item, a decent amount of experience, and just a strong item and a decent amount of experience for the heroes. If you're able to get all of your heroes up to level 5, then forcing your opponent to fight is a great idea, as that's the only way you're going to be able to get more experience on your heroes. The question is going to be the proper timing, as the Shadow Hunter, actually the one leading the charge here, going to take a little bit of poking damage and retreat back. All right, in comes the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain, is it going to get purged down? That's the question. There's the purge, losing the Bloodlust, losing that Lightning Shield, places down a stomp as the Brewmaster quickly breaks free here. Potion of Invulnerability, trying to use some Breath of Fire across all of these units again and again. Tauren Chieftain should be throwing down another stomp here in just a moment to try and stun all of these units from dealing any damage. Meanwhile, Scroll of Protection back by TGW, as Peons are even joining in on the fight with Bags of Gold. All right, I don't remember Bags of Gold, why they would ever be brought to the battle. Usually you see Lumber, but Bags of Gold being brought here as the Brewmaster constantly getting purged down and, acting as a pincushion for all of these javelins. The Brewmaster goes for another Breath of Fire, racks up more damage here. Peons are trying to chase in, and it looks as though they came into a single file line, a horrible spot to be in, as the Brewmaster's 13 armor desperately keeps it alive a little while longer. There's a Potion of Healing keeping things going 30 supply compared to 38. Who's going to come out on top? Brewmaster doesn't have that much life here. Level 5 Farseer coming across from OrcWorker as these Shadow Spirit Wolves may be able to rack up more damage. The fact that they are invisible for so long means that it just comes as a big surprise when they are finally out there on the battlefield. Pathing is also a bit more difficult as the Wolves perhaps going to try and catch up to that Farseer. All right, 16 minutes into this game, still no clear victor. However, OrcWorker was able to keep his panda alive, and that was a very big deal, keeping that panda alive, even though it was down to like a sliver of hit points, able to head back home. Meanwhile, Magnetar Reaver creep camp on the bottom right has been spotted and known that it still has a bit of creeps there. Farseer may try to clear it out, but with only 2 Spirit Wolves and a Shadow Hunter, maybe biting off more than they can chew. Meanwhile, the Shadow Wolves here quickly spot this. Farseer going to try and lead the charge. Kodo Beast is not digesting anything, but does have that level 2 upgrade on those Kodo Beasts. So it's a big damage bonus for the Berserkers, plus 10 right now between that True Shot Aura and those Kodo Beasts. Essentially giving these Berserkers level 5 and 5.7 upgrades if you're trying to get exact. Brewmaster going to try and engage here. More pressure poking across. There's a Drunken Haze. Units are getting caught back across here as the Shaman could easily get taken down. Who's going to get the experience? Brewmaster desperately wants to get to level 5 here. There's a little bit of a stun once more. Is the Brewmaster going to get level 5? I believe he got level 5 and picks up the Helm of Valor as well. Still getting purged down, but now up to 15.5 armor. Very heavy and damage reduction. 48% damage reduction here as the Tauren Chieftain finally makes his way back out onto the battlefield. All right. Kodo Beast is in that frontline spot. Tauren Chieftain going to go ahead and throw down a stomp. There it is. Going to try and engage Panda. Gets off a Breath of Fire. And now Chain Lightning finds its initial target to take down one of those Berserkers. There is another stomp there. Brewmaster could be in a lot of trouble. Kodo Beast going to be in a lot of trouble. That represents a large amount of damage. A 2-0 upgraded damage for the entire Orc army as poking's still underway. The Brewmaster, a sliver of hit points or experience points away from level 5. The difference between another Breath of Fire, a level 3 Breath of Fire, which could have literally blown this game wide open. Tauren Chieftain now off trying to chase after all of these units here. Shadow Wolves could get into position, and there you are. The Tauren Chieftain does get a stomp off, but only hits one unit there. Breath of Fire now coming across from the Brewmaster here as there is a bunch of low hit point units all across the board. Still, Brewmaster gets up to level 5 finally after all this time. There in comes another stomp. Are we going to see a Drunken Haze? Yes, we do. And that is going to make it difficult to try and retreat back out as perhaps a couple of purges. One Shaman getting purged down again. 2 Berserkers have already fallen, and that was that little bit of experience that OrcWorker needed to pull out ahead just a bit. Main gold mines have 3 minutes of mining left. That is about it. And from there, what you see is what you get. Brewmaster needs to get in a little bit of healing. Helm of Valor, strength and agility. Farseer, very fragile, only 675 hit points compared to the Brewmaster, who has 1100 hit points and also 10 more armor than his brethren. The reason why that Brewmaster is nearly impossible to take down in these scenarios. Now, we are at tier 3, so both sides can easily set up a tiny Great Hall at their relative expansions and get them mining very, very quickly. However, it doesn't seem like OrcWorker's plan includes that. TGW does have this tiny Great Hall, is now setting up a Voodoo Lounge as well. And, by sitting here, he can easily defend and perhaps start to pull ahead. Dual level 5 heroes compared to a level 4, and a level 3. It's going to come down to mana management now, as we know mana is what allows you to easily cast your spells and get those initial victories in those battles. All right, taking a little bit of a lead in a battle, being able to get that breath of fire off, chain lightning, and then have, well, very easy units to pick off is an easy big deal. All right, Spirit Wolves getting summoned up here, chain lightning bouncing around on the other side here. No scroll of healing as the Berserkers do have, well, Bloodlust, but no Frenzy at this point. Panda could come across from the side here. Shadow Wolves are just tearing into all of these peons as the Panda could try to get a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire across all those units. Stomp coming in a little bit late. Healing Wave coming back around the other way as the Tauren Chieftain using a Potion of Invulnerability to stay inside that front line spot. Tauren Chieftain now currently low on mana. He's going to try and back away the Berserkers with all of that Bloodlust, able to deal so much damage. I believe, yeah, average attack speed, and they're not even in Frenzy at this stage yet. 3-0 upgrades compared to 2-1. However, well, these peons not benefiting from any of these upgrades from his team. All right, Panda back up to 150 mana. This is going to be key. Are we going to get another Breath of Fire going? All right, there's a Drunken Haze. There's a Breath of Fire across multiple units. There's a Scroll of Healing to try and counteract. Both sides fighting. Tauren Chieftain without Stomp is not acting as nearly as a big father figure to stand in that front line spot and absorb all of that damage. There goes another Breath of Fire through. Panda now down to 259 hit points. He's absorbed so much. Farseer trying to get away. We're looking at the Brewmaster down to 200 hit points as well. Can the Panda blow off another Breath of Fire? No, he is not, as more poking happening back again. All right, OrcWorker able to somehow stick around, stay alive, as the main gold mines now down to their last bit of gold. 33 supply compared to 48. OrcWorker sitting on a decent amount of gold, now bursting or going into low upkeep and hoping to train up enough units to finish off his opponent. We're going to see a little bit of a reset in the fight here. Healing salves, 4 and clarity potions on the Brewmaster and that Farseer. And once this army is strong enough, I believe OrcWorker is going to try and close out this game. With that said, though, we're looking at nearly level 4 Tauren Chieftain and a nearly level 4 Tauren Chieftain, which will give endurance aura level 2 variety to all of the Berserkers, perhaps moving them into a faster attack speed than their opponent. The Tauren Chieftain, however, will really need those stomps early on, and will need those stomps early on to get anything going for him. Without those stomps, TGW has no way to really mitigate that much damage aside from Healing Wave, and that's more reactionary as opposed to that initial burst. We're going to be looking at OrcWorker trying to set down a Chain Lightning effective breath of fire, as well this base is completely wide open right now. Are we going to be looking at a tiny Great Hall? Yes, we are. So finally, TGW setting up, or excuse me, OrcWorker setting up a tiny Great Hall here as the fight is now getting underway, going after the Orc Burrows. These Orc Burrows do not have the reinforced defenses. They have, they have also given the Tauren Chieftain level 4, so there's that level 2 endurance aura that we were talking about earlier. There's going to stomp. Panda is actually stunned out for a while. There's that Lightning Shield. There's a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire. Scroll of Healing, however, is on the Farseer. That should quickly be counteracted here. All right, Tauren Chieftain, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. There's a second stomp right there. No more Lightning Shield. Panda wants to get a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire off as Farseer is now taking some damage in the back. He's going to be able to get away. Breath of Fire trying to take down the Tauren Chieftain. Farseer gets up to level 6 and then gets taken down as the Tauren Chieftain falls at level 4. There's a Drunken Haze here. Units are trying to get away. Panda, does he have enough mana to perhaps get a Breath of Fire across all of these fleeing units? A Breath of Fire could be enough. There goes one. There's a Chain Lightning. It doesn't go after this one Berserker that was standing right there as the Farseer gets up to level 6. New Shadow Wolves now getting summoned up. There's a quick purge to try and finish him off. Lone Brewmaster fighting a battle here as the Chain Lightning rips through and bounces, taking down multiple headhunters. This is bad news for OrcWorker. OrcWorker down to 26 supply, but TGW not much better, as we're looking at mining still happening for OrcWorker now. All right, every bit of damage matters so much. We're looking at a Forest Troll Berserker trying to get away. Panda, however, not going to be able to keep his part or keep that last unit alive. That is going to be a sudden drop down to 16 supply here, and giving back that Berserker. Farseer now back out here on the battlefield. Both sides are fighting fighting the way through. Farsi are going to try and retreat here as the Brewmaster down to, or 21 experience shy from that next level. All right. More mining still happening here. Is it going to get spotted out? Farseer, level 3 Shadow Wolves, level 3 Chain Lightning Berserker in position to try and take down this creep camp quickly. Panda and Brewmaster are being forced to fight here. Brewmaster 1 experience shy from level 6. What a big difference here as the Farseer now turns tail to run. There's a Breath of Fire adding on to both sides here. Who's going to come out on top as the Berserkers are still poking their way through, and now, well, mining is becoming a bit of a difficulty for OrcWorker. OrcWorker running out on mining here. Farseer trying to retreat back. It could get taken down. Farseer trying to just buy time, trying to rebuild himself up as the hero levels of TGW are just too strong right now, and the amount of hit points there is the main big difference. All right, there goes another unit there. Brewmaster now getting up to level 6. Are we going to see Earth, Storm, and Fire? We are indeed, as Shadow Wolves, well, doing a little bit of poking back and forth again. All right, Farseer could be in trouble. Down to 90s, down to 37 hit points. Farseer falls for the second time, giving level 6 now to the Shadow Hunter. And with that, level 6 Shadow Hunter, level 3 Hex, level 3 Healing Wave, and that Panda is just lonely by himself. Peons could get retrained up here. Lone Panda trying to carry this, carry his team to victory. Gonna have a bit of an uphill climb to go. Perhaps sell some of these items. Ring of Protection +4 quickly sold. Are we looking at a Resurrection? Yeah, Resurrection of the Farseer. Meanwhile, TGW has only been able to do long distance mining. Not much gold has been mined out from this gold mine, as a new peon getting summoned up here. Shaman nearby. Oh, they were looking at a peon. Peon could end up getting taken down. That's going to be a big loss. And now some damage onto that shaman here. Shaman trying to retreat back. Healing Wave going, bouncing back and forth. And it looks as though, yeah, one more peon getting taken down. Earth, Storm, and Fire in position here. Is Fire just perhaps just going to stand around? No easy way of spotting out this wolf, and we are currently low on gold, unable to train up any additional units at all. All right, Panda still has some items to sell back if he wants to do that. Farseer looking to get retrained up here, and that Farseer, remember, will be at full hit points and a decent amount of mana. Long distance mining still slowly chipping away here as the Tauren Chieftain now getting resurrected at level 4. The Shadow Wolves should be able to poke apart this Great Hall. Enough life on them in that time life, and that may be it for OrcWorker. OrcWorker got to level 6 on his heroes first, only to see them fall and, well, give level 6 to his opponent. What is TGW thinking in this stage? At this point, he needs to get his Tauren Chieftain out. Once his Tauren Chieftain is out on the battlefield, with 3 heroes to control and a stun, he's hoping to focus down one of those heroes. Meanwhile, all really OrcWorker can hope is that his opponent somehow makes some sort of critical mistake somewhere in some shape or form. Are we going to see a purge? I'm surprised we don't see a purge onto that wolf there. That wolf is just going to go ahead and disappear into nothing. Shaman could have gotten a purge off, gotten a little bit of experience, and then saved some hit points on the shaman himself. But perhaps wants to also save mana for bloodlusting these heroes. Brewmaster walking out across here. We're looking at 60 supply. 60 seconds left on that ultimate cooldown, Earth, Storm, and Fire, to try and go after some of these units. Tauren Chieftain now retreating back here. Well, with proper insight, TGW knows that he needs to retreat back inside his base and be receptive of this incoming attack. All right, Orc Burrows, Peon attacks now coming in. Are we going to see some engagement? There's a Breath of Fire blowing on through. And now, well, Wolves are going to try and engage once more. Turning back around, both sides fighting. There's a quick death onto one of those Wolves again, as both sides, well, exchanging blows. TGW does have home field advantage, but it's not translating into very much, as we see a Hex go down onto the Shaman and quickly, well, remove that Shaman there. There's a Stomp now, and, well, also affecting some of those Shadow Wolves as well, taking them out of the fight. Farseer down to 200 some odd hit points. He's going to try and back away. Squirrel, or that True Shot Aura is something that isn't really necessary for that Farseer any longer without that army. Perhaps being able to get another healing salve would have been the big difference. All right, Farseer down to 120 hit points. Is going to be able to get away. Does not look like it. Down to 30 hit points. One more shot. Two more shots. There's a Chain Lightning bouncing around. There's level 7 on the Farseer, and that has got to be the game. Panda now by himself, low on mana, going up against 3 other heroes, and there you have it. A great game going back and forth, a little bit slow at the end as both sides tried to make sure that they did not make the crucial mistake to give their opponent the victory. In the end, both sides played a solid game, but the hero level advantage was just simply too much. And, well, 3 heroes is better than 2, especially if you have higher level heroes as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.